Awesome. All right. Well, we have given people a couple of minutes to go ahead and join the webinar. I'm sure we'll have a couple more people join. So without further ado, again, thank you for joining this webinar titled Building a CRM-Powered Website to Grow Your Business. And if you were not here at the very beginning, we have on this webinar today, Alex Gerard, the Senior Product Marketing Manager for the HubSpot CMS. We've also got our technical lead over here at Mojo Media Labs, Sam McKinney. He is a HubSpot CMS developer and was also the developer of the Mojoflex theme and the HubSpot marketplace. And then you also have myself. I am Mason Cosby. I'm the digital marketing specialist over here at Mojo Media Labs. I get to run our own marketing. So I am in the trenches with marketers day in and day out as we try to grow our own businesses. So without further ado, just as a general highlight overview of what this webinar will consist of, we're going to have a presentation from Alex walking through what is a CRM-powered website, really 4 reasons to build on a CRM-powered website and how to get started with a CRM-powered website. Then we're actually going to walk into a demo with Sam of our Mojoflex theme on the HubSpot marketplace. And then lastly, for about the last 10 to 15 minutes, we'll just have a live Q&A panel. And again, myself as a tactical marketer, I'll be able to answer really any questions you have as to day in, day out functionality for someone that doesn't know any code. You'll also have Sam that can really dive deep into any development type questions. And then lastly, you'll have Alex that can really get into how HubSpot compares to potential other opportunities on the market and really kind of identify potential opportunities for your specific business. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and give it over to Alex.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mason and Sam, for joining me today. And thank you everyone for being here. I'm going to quickly just share my screen. Can you all see the slides? Can I get a thumbs up, Mason? Awesome. Fantastic. All right. So as I go through this, feel free to drop in any questions in the chat. Feel free to save those questions for later, but have those questions locked and loaded. Happy to answer any and all questions you might have about the HubSpot CMS Hub as we go through this. But first, just to kick off, a little bit about me. Everyone, my name is Alex Gerard. I am a product marketer here at HubSpot. I've been at HubSpot for just under 5 years now. And I'm the product marketer in charge of CMS Hub. And so I used to work on the Marketing Hub in a former life, but for about 2.5 years now, I've been focused solely on CMS Hub. So any and all questions you have about HubSpot or CMS Hub specifically, happy to answer any and all of those questions. And by all means, feel free to connect with me. I've put my LinkedIn there, but happy to answer any questions that you might have about CMS Hub during the webinar today or after the fact if they come up later. So feel free to connect with me. And so I want to just go through the agenda really quickly. We're going to talk about, what is a CRM-powered CMS? What do we mean when we say CRM-powered CMS? We're then going to talk about 4 different reasons why you should consider building your website or a digital experience of some kind on the CMS Hub and how that ladders up to the entire CRM-powered website idea. And then we can talk through some specific ways that you can get started on CMS Hub today. And I want to kick us off by just a quick poll. Feel free to drop answers into the chat specifically. Feel free to just answer in your head. But I want to quickly just ask that, raise your hand, give me a shout in the chat if you have a website. Now, obviously, this is a bit of a silly question because, of course, we all have websites. That is what we do. We are all running businesses. We all have a digital presence today in the year 2021. The next question that we have is, what CMS are you using today? Think through it. Maybe you're leveraging CMS Hub already. You're already on board with us. Maybe you're using something like WordPress or Squarespace, Wix. Maybe you're using your own homegrown solution. There's a number of different ones. Take stock of what CMS you're leveraging and how you use that today. Final question that I have for everyone is, what's the goal of your website? What are you trying to get out of your website? I'm going to just quickly open the chat on my end so I can see some of those answers. I see that we got WordPress, Wix, WordPress, Squarespace. Amazing. Love to see it. curious to hear from people what they think their goal of their website is, or, maybe they're unsure what their goal is. That's totally fine. We hear that all the time, that people just, kind of have a website because they have to, right? It's 2021. We need to have a website. We have someone saying that they would like to get leads that convert to sales on their website. Totally. Credibility, a way for call to action to get leads, 100%. Great answers. And that's really common. When I, talk with people about what's the goal of their website, we often hear that the website's purpose is to attract visitors in and convert them into leads. That's what most people think of their website and the purpose of their website. I think today, what I want to challenge you is to start thinking about how you can expand the impact of your website across the entire customer experience, which is really what's at the heart of what a CRM-powered website can do for you. And so your website, of course, will still continue to attract visitors and convert leads. But you can start to think of your website as something of a sales enablement tool or an advocacy program, a way for you to turn your customers into advocates for your brand. You could use it to do customer onboarding. There's a number of different ways the website can start to impact the entire customer experience beyond just that attract phase. And this is really important because, as we touched on in the beginning when we were doing our poll questions, in 2021, we've gone all in on digital. We live completely digital lives, and we expect that all of our digital experiences are going to be seamless. That when we interact with a brand on their website, it'll be just as seamless an experience as if we were interacting with them in their own storefront. The problem is that all too often, our digital experiences are anything but seamless. In fact, they're often quite frustrating. Let me just walk you through a quick example to kind of show you what I mean here. So let's say you're on someone's website, you're interested in learning more about their product or services. So you see they have a contact us form, you fill it out, give them your information. And once you fill it out, they say, thanks, we'll send you a follow-up email. So you say, great, you leave the website, and later that night you go to your inbox only to find that you never received that email follow-up that you were promised. And so you go back to the website the next day and you reach out via live chat, except the person who's responding on the other end has no idea who you are, what products or services you're interested in. It kind of just falls flat. And so you say, screw it, I'm just going to reach out the old-fashioned way, call them on the phone. And so you pick up the phone, you call their sales team. When they pick up, they have no idea what product you're interested in, what interactions you've already had with your brand. You have to go through the process of re-explaining all the interactions that you've had with this business over again to the person on the phone. Now, quickly think through all the different tools that are required to provide the experience that I just walked you through. We have the website, the CMS. There's a forms tool, email automation, live chat software of some kind, a CRM for that sales rep to be knowing who's speaking with them. A lot of tools go into building out this digital experience. And if you're cobbling together a bunch of different solutions in order to provide this digital experience to your customers, your customer experience is going to suffer because of all of these disparate tools that you're leveraging in order to run your website. And so we wanted to dig into this a little bit. We realized that there's a lot of demand for combining different tools together in order to provide seamless digital experiences. We're seeing this in our own research that we ran here at HubSpot. We saw that about 45% of companies combine 8 or more tools in order to run their website. Now, of those 45% of companies, 81% want to connect their website to their CRM. Another 73% want to connect their website to some kind of messaging tools or marketing automation platform. There's a lot of demand for a combined solution that brings all these tools together. The issue is that these often leads to inconsistent and unreliable data. When you're stitching together all these tools, trying to combine these things, you can get a system where you don't have reliable data in which you can use as a foundation for the entire customer experience. And I love this quote over here to the right. The penalty of having incomplete or inaccurate data could be the company's existence. So the stakes are pretty high here. People are trying to cobble together all these tools in order to deliver this seamless experience, but we're not sure if we can reliably do so by cobbling together a bunch of disparate tools. And so we continue to do some research. We realized that, if we really boil down all the tools that people are using to manage the digital experience, they kind of fall into 5 different buckets. We have content, it's your CMS, messaging tools that you can use to outreach to customers they can use to get in touch with you, automation in some kind, so you can scale your processes over time, reporting, so you know that you're optimizing the experience and what you're doing is effective, and then data that you can root everything in to make sure that you have a strong foundation in what you're doing. The problem is, if you're stitching together a bunch of disparate tools, we found that there's upwards of 10,000 different tools that you could be stitching together in order to provide this experience. You're going to pay what we call at HubSpot the cobble tax. This is a scenario where you're going to have siloed data across all these disparate tools that makes it hard for you to align around that unified view of the customer experience. You have to choose between having a simple to use tool that everyone on your team can use, or a powerful one that's going to allow you to scale and grow over time. And then you're going to have an inflexible tech stack, one that makes it really hard for you to kind of adapt as you grow and scale with that system over time. Now, at HubSpot, we think that your digital content can really act as a guide for your customers, helping them make educated decisions as they navigate that customer journey. And this is really why we built CMS Hub. So we took all 5 of these core components of that customer experience, the content, the messaging, the automation, reporting, and data. We built it all into this unified code base that we really built from scratch, from the ground up, so that you can use all these components when you're developing these digital experiences. And because we built it from the ground up, it's really crafted for your growth. And so we have that single source of truth, makes it easy for you to align on that unified view of what is the experience that we are providing for our customers. We have that one intuitive UX that makes it easy to adopt for all of your teams. And you don't have to make that decision between whether it's a simple to use tool that your marketers can use or a powerful but really extensible tool that your developers can leverage. You don't have to make that trade-off. And then you're going to have that unified code base that's going to scale with you over time. So you can start at a really simple solution, but scale as your business grows to a more complex implementation. And because it's rooted in this CRM platform, we have all the components of it. You can really use CMS Hub and the entire CRM platform to build what we call CRM-powered websites. So what this means is that you can use data to build personalized, sophisticated experiences. You can leverage that automation to scale your website. You can take some of the menial tasks out of managing that website. Create better content by letting your marketers easily edit pages, but let your developers focus on more labor intensive and more high impact work. You can report and optimize on what's working, what's not, what's driving the most results for the business, so we're focusing our time smartly on what's impacting our customers. And then, of course, you can keep your messaging consistent across all customer touch points and ensure that everyone on your team is playing off the same playbook. So that is what a CRM-powered website is. It's a way to manage the entire CRM platform and really think about your website as part of that CRM platform so you can start to deliver better digital experiences at scale. Now, I want to quickly walk through 4 reasons why you can consider building your website or your digital experiences on CMS Hub. The first that I want to talk through is that we're backed by the CRM platform. When I say CRM platform, I think most people think, it's backed by a sales tool. And I want us to start thinking about a CRM platform as not just a sales tool, but really the foundation on which you build your customer's digital experience. And so it includes all the hubs that HubSpot offers. It includes Sales Hub, of course, but it also includes Marketing Hub and Service Hub. And one of the most successful implementations that we've seen for customers who are trying to own their customer's digital experience, to really build this growth engine for their customers, is that they start to implement the CRM platform alongside CMS Hub and our marketing platform as well. This gives them a strong foundation and their marketers a set of tools that they can use to really own that customer experience and start to build this growth engine that can help their company grow through their website. This isn't just, nice to say, it's actually data backed. We see that companies that combine both Marketing Hub and CMS Hub together, they see more traffic, more form submissions, and the number of contacts that they have in their portal is upwards of 120% more than companies that just have one of these hubs. So if you combine the two together, you're actually going to see a lot more results than if you were just using one as a standalone product. The other thing is, because we're based in that CRM platform, you're able to really create personalized customer experiences. And I want to just talk about a couple different ways that this permeates itself within CMS Hub. So the first is smart content. Now, smart content means that you can take any CRM data, any data that's stored within the CRM, and you can start to use that to personalize the experience on your website using lists or any other data point that you have within HubSpot. So let's say that if I'm a current customer of yours and I visit your homepage, you can use smart content to personalize that experience. So I see a different homepage banner, for example, than someone who is landing on the homepage for the first time. This is a really simple example, but you can start to see how any data within the CRM platform can really be used to make your website smart. And one awesome update that we just added was that we made it so any module within the CMS Hub can be made smart. So it used to be only that rich text modules or image modules could be made smart. Now any module, including custom modules that might be built by your developer, by the Mojo Media Labs team, all of those can be made smart. So you can really take this smart content tool and extend it across your entire website. The other one I want to talk about is dynamic content. Now, dynamic content comes into play in two areas within HubSpot. The first is within HubDB tables. So HubDB is exactly what it sounds like. It's just a table, and you can implement data within the table, and then each row of that data table will become its own SEO-friendly page within the CMS. If you want to see a really powerful example of this at play, you can go to inspire.hubspot.com. That's kind of the database that we use to show off a bunch of different websites that are built on CMS Hub today. But under the hood, that entire website is built leveraging a HubDB table. So a really cool way to see the power of the CMS while also viewing a website that's built entirely on CMS itself. The second way that it shows up within the product is through CRM object dynamic personalization. So because we're built on the CRM platform, you can take any CRM object and turn it into a page on your website. And so let's say you have a custom object in the CRM for real estate properties that you own. Each of those objects within the CRM can then become a page on your website. And so you can create a really simple real estate listing if you would like. And the examples are endless here. You can really start to extend the CRM platform beyond what you think is possible today to start to build out a really complex website on CMS Hub. The final one that I want to talk about for personalization is memberships. And so when we think about personalized experiences, kind of the biggest way we can do this now is offering login experiences to our customers so they can see information that pertains specifically to them on the website. So leveraging memberships alongside smart content and dynamic content, you can really start to create really personalized login areas on your website where your customers can get the most personalized experience possible on CMS Hub. Now, the third reason to consider CMS Hub is that we provide the speed, security, and reliability all out of the box. I think when most people start to think about where they're going to host their website, they start to think about, okay, we need to get hosting, and then we need to get security, and we need to get all these different things that are going to be layered onto the system that we manage our content on. And it starts to add up. You start to cobble together all these different tools. From the CMS Hub, we take care of all of that for you. We give you all of these things that we have on the right here, like 24/7 infrastructure support, a web application firewall, that global CDN, all these things just out of the box that you don't have to worry about. So you can focus instead on creating just really awesome content for your customers, which leads me to the final point that I have, is that this is a system that's really built for both your marketers and your developers. Now, marketers are going to like the CRM platform and hosting their content on that CRM platform because it allows them to create really personalized experiences for their customers, leveraging the data that's within there. Developers, on the other hand, they're going to like that it has that built-in data set of CRM data so that the developer can start to use it to build extremely sophisticated experiences. Now, some of the tools that enable that are things like flexible themes. So a theme is just a package of assets like modules, templates, style sheets, like Mojoflex, what we're going to walk through in a little bit. And this will allow your developer to build out this system that your marketer can then go in and edit through a really simple editing style that you see here on the screen. So flexible themes allow developers to kind of build out a framework within which the marketer can work and kind of act independently of the developer, so they're not constantly tapping them on the shoulder to get work done. The developer can then go and focus on more high impact projects. The other thing is that a marketer can really create new pages or edit existing pages leveraging drag and drop page editing. So they can edit the width of columns, drag in new modules to a page without having to worry about, hey, developer, can you add a CTA module to this page? It's all enabled for them with that drag and drop page editing experience. The final thing is that developers, we haven't forgotten about you either. Developers, they want to leverage the tools, technologies, and workflows that they're familiar with, not the ones that HubSpot prescribes for them. And so to do that, we've enabled local web development, so you can use your own IDE, maybe your Microsoft Visual Studio Code editor or something like that. You can use your own tools and upload those themes and other assets into the design manager as you're ready. You can use things like GitHub for version control. But what we wanted to enable with the CMS Hub is we wanted to make sure that developers were able to use their own tools and technologies in order to develop on CMS Hub instead of the ones that we prescribe for them. And so we enabled that when we launched CMS Hub last year. Okay, so we talked about what a CRM-powered website is. We talked through a couple of reasons why you should consider adopting CMS Hub. Now I want to talk through, how can you get started? What are some ways that you can get started with CMS Hub today? And so real quickly, I just want to touch on the different packages that we have. So CMS Hub Professional, available for $400 a month. In CMS Hub Professional, you're going to get everything you need to create personalized customer experiences with those features that I talked about earlier, like smart content, dynamic personalization, password protected pages. You're also going to be able to optimize your website. So you're going to get things like custom reporting, contact attribution reporting, A/B testing, ways that you can start to really dive into what is working and start to optimize that customer experience for where you're seeing results coming from on your website. You're also going to be able to expand your content strategy. So you're going to get all of our SEO tools, including content strategy, the recommendations home, our integration with Google Search Console. All of that comes at CMS Hub Professional. We also have an enterprise tier. And at that enterprise tier, you're going to be able to build powerful digital experiences, leveraging web apps and memberships and custom objects to build out really sophisticated digital experiences within CMS Hub. You're also going to be able to manage your growing team and brand. So as you grow, you're going to have more and more people that are editing content, creating net new content. And so in order to manage those things, we have tools in CMS Hub Enterprise that are going to allow you to manage that team. Things like content partitioning or activity logging, so you can see who is making what changes at what time, user and team permissions, things like that. You're also going to be able to extend your brand. So we're going to give you additional root domains. We just made a change to enable you to have up to 10 domains within CMS Hub Enterprise out of the box. So you can start to have more content hosted in CMS Hub and start to report across all of those domains in CMS Hub Enterprise. And one cool thing that we just added is we also just launched our brand new CMS Hub starter tier, which is available at just $25 a month. And it comes packed with a bunch of awesome features that are going to allow you to see a lot of benefits from that CRM platform right out of the box. So all of those security, reliability, and speed features that I mentioned just a little bit ago, those are all available for free within CMS Hub starters. You can get premium hosting, the global CDN with 99.99% uptime, 24/7 security monitoring, and more within CMS Hub Starter. You're also going to be able to get all those awesome page creation tools and all those awesome website content creation tools. So things like the flexible theme, the drag and drop page editing, blogs, the local development so your developers can get in CMS Hub Starter and start to develop within CMS Hub. Those are all available at that $25 price point as well. And then of course, you're going to be able to leverage the entire platform by using that CRM platform as your base, getting tools like live chat, forms, kickback emails, and dashboards to report on your success all out of the box within CMS Hub Starter. So those are the price points that we have, but in order for like specific ways to get started with CMS, we do have your back in a couple of other ways. So if you're looking to migrate your website, we have a migrations team that can bring over your existing website pixel for pixel into HubSpot, so you can get started really easily if you want to do that. You can also work with a partner. You could go to the Mojo Media Labs team and say, hey, I want to either work with you to bring my website over, or, I'm looking to explore a website redesign and I'd love to work with you on what that might look like. You can also leverage our marketplace. So we're about to see a demo of one of those awesome themes that are in the marketplace, the Mojoflex theme. And so that is going to allow you to kind of use that theme as a starting point and then build on top of it to meet the needs of your specific business. But one way that we're seeing lots of people start to come onto CMS Hub is through something that we call microsites. And so this is taking kind of this concept of, you can build out digital experiences in your corporate website. You can also create content using a number of different tools. It doesn't have to be just your corporate website that is your only digital experience. You could have a digital experience through events or for product or regional launches, educational centers, advocacy programs. The list goes on about what you might need a website for. And many of our customers are building out these experiences on top of HubSpot using microsites. So saying, we have this other CMS where we're hosting our corporate website, but our marketing team, they need to act fast in order to get this product launch out the door or this event that we're hosting out the door. So let's use HubSpot for that specific microsite instead. Well, I'm going to give you just a quick example of a customer that we saw do this really effectively. So G2, they're a software review website. I think we're all familiar with them. And they hosted their Reach 2020 event entirely on CMS Hub. They really leveraged the entire platform in order to build out this digital experience. And so they needed a way to personalize that experience based on attendee information that they had in the CRM. They needed pre-recorded video content, a way for attendees to log into their own specific experience within the portal. They needed a way for attendees and speakers to interact, to talk back and forth about what was happening at Reach 2020. They needed an automated integration with their CRM, and of course, they need to be able to report on the impact of the event at the end of the day on their bottom line. And so the results they saw were really, really awesome. They had 57 hours of video content hosted in the CMS, over 3,000 registrants, 300 of which were net new leads. And at the end of the day, they were able to attribute $5 million in ARR back to this specific event. Really incredible results from the team at G2. But it's not just G2 that's employing this microsite strategy. Companies like Calm and ClassPass, World Wildlife Fund, the list goes on, are leveraging CMS Hub to build specific microsites for their brand. Calm and ClassPass use CMS Hub to build out the B2B arm of their business on CMS Hub. And ClassPass specifically saw an increase in 52% in conversions once they adopted CMS Hub. Really fantastic results from the ClassPass team as well. So let's quickly just recap. So CMS Hub is part of the CRM platform. And by leveraging that entire CRM platform, you can build a CRM-powered website that's going to enable you to generate business through your website. The most successful customers who adopt CMS Hub are adopting not just CMS Hub, but really the CRM platform and Marketing Hub to have this growth engine that their marketers can own. There are a number of different ways that you can adopt CMS Hub. You can work with a partner like Mojo Media Labs, leverage the marketplace. One of the most enticing ways you can do it is to start to build out these microsites for your business so you can start to act fast in your next campaign or content creation endeavor. And of course, we have that new CMS Hub starter tier available for you to explore. And I think that's all I have for you today. I'll be around for the Q&A, but I think right now we're going to kick it over to Sam, who's going to run us through a quick demo.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Alex. So I'm going to just demo some very quick highlighted features of Mojoflex. And this is really meant to demonstrate how the approach we took with Mojoflex and how really easy it is to use the HubSpot CMS in general. It is a wonderful tool that has come a long way. I'm sure Alex will tell you all about that super long journey, but it's really quite powerful and it's really well done, especially for marketing teams to get in there and really build all kinds of really nice content without needing an actual developer on staff. So right now, I'm just editing a page that I have built. There's nothing really on this page. So if you guys are familiar with the HubSpot interface, if we look at the contents tab, you can kind of see I've got my global header, global footer, and I just got this nice little banner image here just to kind of start with a blank canvas, so to speak. With the addition to themes, how HubSpot has been approaching everything, themes has been a wonderful thing. It's been wonderful for developers, and an absolute pleasure to build things in and architect things in and really figure out a way to make something that's very repeatable, very customizable, and also very extensible. Something that a developer can take and really extend the theme to do something very custom that they want that wouldn't necessarily be a part of a normal theme. So I'm going to go ahead and start in just some of the basic theme settings. The first one is this design tab. So these are the fields that we have in Mojoflex. So every theme, the developer can kind of basically set up what fields are available in this design area. And I kind of look at this, the way I approach this with our theme is I really wanted to be really careful about the hierarchy of all the files, whether it's HTML, CSS, anything like that. I want to give very nice options for global sweeping changes, but then make sure that you guys have the flexibility, the freedom to override things on a per page basis. So you can take a page and really tailor it to a very unique campaign if you want to, and still keep everything on brand, so to speak. So in our theme for theme settings, we've got these large buckets of areas. So topography, link options, and we've got 3 different classes for CTAs. I'm a big fan of using the class option CTAs. That way the marketing team does not have to remember, oh, what shade of blue is it? What's the hexadecimal code, blah, blah, what's all this type of stuff. They can simply know, oh, this is my primary class, this is my secondary button, and they will match throughout the website on all these different pages. So for topography, if you expand this down, this is basically all of your settings for your topography for your website. You've got your main body paragraph font, sizes, color, the font weight, what style it is, and I've given a line height option and some options to change the font size for medium devices and large devices. Everything with Mojoflex is designed mobile first from a build perspective, and then we go up those devices. And everywhere throughout the entire theme, there are always these tooltips that will tell you exactly what this field is used for and how it's going to be used and how it's going to reflect changes on your actual website. So this is a really cool area. We've got all your heading elements, 1 through 6, all your normal stuff that you can go through and define. And that way, anytime you're creating a page or any marketing or content creator for your website, you can go in there and create pages, and everything is going to look on brand for your company. For link options, they're basically our main colors. And then if we start looking at some of our button options, we've got tons of options inside of here. So if we expand this down, you can choose background colors, hover colors, choose your border colors, hover colors. You can even have a gradient. So instead of it being orange to purple, you can simply check this box. You can pick the direction of the gradient you wish to go to and choose the gradient, and you can even reverse that gradient direction on hover. So all those hover effects that are done with CSS, we've tried to give a really nice, easy to use interface here to design what your designers or your marketers have in mind when they start creating a website. We've got fonts in here as well, all different sizes, padding, so you can control the size. And we've given you 3 different options there, so you can really have what is the primary CTA on most of those pages, and maybe you want a secondary CTA to potentially have a different color scheme that maybe goes with a dark background or something that goes with a lighter background, something that might conflict with your other brand colors. We've also got some form settings, so choosing your label colors, form title backgrounds, form field colors. And then under other elements, we've got your horizontal rule. You can choose the color, the design, the thickness, the spacing around it. Under list options, all these things that are basically these large, what I would consider kind of a global style sheet or your global styles or web styles for your brand. And once this is set up, basically inside your theme, you're ready to go. Now, with Mojoflex and with themes in particular in HubSpot, everything like you saw in Alex's presentation is drag and drop. There are definitely some different approaches here. We've got a ton of modules that we're always either enhancing or adding modules that do very specific things that our partners are asking for. And basically, you just kind of drag and drop whatever module you want on this page, and then you go through the settings. So right now we've got a 1 column. I'm just going to really quickly delete that. We can go back here, and I'm just going to drag it on. You guys can see basically how easy this is. 1 second here. I had this page open for a while, so 1 moment. These themes that just kind of drag and drop basically on here, they're all alphabetical. You can search for them as well here. Once you go here, you can just drag it on there, and then you go through the actual module settings. Now, Mojoflex in particular Like I said, we try to have a lot of kind of your basic building blocks. So 1-column content, 2-column. There's also a 2-column with form on whichever side you would like. 3 and 4-column. And this is what I would, these blocks are what I would kind of consider your basic Lego blocks for building out pages. And you can reuse all these modules across the same page, multiple pages, and every one of them can look unique. So if we actually click on this 1-column module, I want to show some options that we have built in with Mojoflex. And this is basically across the board, all of our modules, we try to have a lot of the same styling options. So your team can go in here and really create something very unique for your end user. Try to break everything out. So we've got background options, spacing options, and animation options. So for background options, if we expand this, if you would like to have a background image, you can do so. You can even check a box to have the little parallax effect, the scrolling effect. If you don't want a color, you can have a solid color, you can have a background gradient, all that fun stuff. Or if you wanted to have a video and you want to live your best Harry Potter life, you can simply check you want a background video and you can just choose the file you want to show and run in the background. Now, one thing that's really nice, I'm gonna just paste in some really generic content so we can kind of have a playground here. One thing we see a lot of with a lot of our clients is basically choosing background images and having designers, edit photos, manipulate photos, make it look just right, all those fun things. We do have some really cool features in Mojoflex in particular. I'm gonna make this be a little bit larger here so we can kind of play around with this. I'm gonna choose an image, and forgive us, this is actually our main portal, so you might see some weird images inside of here. I'm just gonna search for one of these. I'm gonna choose, let's choose not that skyline. Let's find something, let's do this one. So as you can see, the background image is really nice, kind of focuses there, center covers the section, but you can also see that the text is a little difficult to see. So inside this background option, we also have a simple toggle to turn the content white. But potentially it may not be the best. There's this little bright spot here that makes it a little difficult to see. So we have this element here called a background shader. You can simply check a box. We insert a translucent layer in between the background element and your content. And you can simply choose the color and choose how light or how dark you want that to be. And you can have this gradient, this color be a really cool gradient. So a lot of the times where a designer would have to manipulate a photo in Photoshop or Illustrator, whatever their particular design tool was, your marketers can now create and make something look very nice without having to have that skill set. Moving right along from background options, I'm going to go down to spacing options. So here we've got some options. You'll notice this is called section vertical spacing. So this is the space that's above and below the content, but still inside that little Lego, that module block there. I'm a big fan of providing guardrails and then giving options to override those guardrails. Most marketers do not want to remember, oh, normally for pages I have 50 pixels of padding above or below a content. So what I try to do is give nice options. So there's small, regular, extra. You can have bottom only or even no spacing if you like, or you can stack similar modules on top of each other. There's also a custom option. So if you don't want one of these guardrails and you are a little bit more of an advanced user, you can simply select custom spacing. And then you can choose the top and bottom spacing for mobile and for desktop devices. So you can really lay something out very unique to whatever page, whatever goal you're trying to accomplish with that page. We can also control the width of the content. So we've got a small, kind of a narrow one. Maybe that's just a form at the very bottom of the page, kind of make it a little bit narrow at the bottom of the funnel there. Medium, and we've also got full fluid that'll be completely responsive to whatever size device you want to play with. And then if you wanted to, we've got content width. So for a 2-column, we would have splits that you could control. You could have it be a perfect 50-50 split, or you could do a 70-30, 60-40. You can really play with that. And everything is percentage based because everything is designed for responsibility. So anything you do or measure, so this is 1200 pixels, I can simply say, make the content only 50% and maybe move the content over to the right side because my background Harry Potter video or whatever it is, the focus is on this left side. You really want to have this really cool thing on this page. Tons of options for how you can organize this content. And once you're done deciding backgrounds and spacing, then you get to the animation options. Now, this is a really cool thing because we try to do everything with vanilla CSS JavaScript, something that's not intensive. So especially for mobile devices, the smaller devices, laptops, things like that, I don't want to be responsible for hurting your page speed. I'm a very big very, very big advocate of making everything very vanilla and very semantically correct. So page speed is always optimized as much as we can. With these animation effects though, every piece of content can be animated. So if this is a 1 column, we've got 1 bucket. If it were a 3 column, you would have 3 different animation effects that you can choose per column. So as a for instance, we've got all kinds of fades up, down, left, right, flips, slides, all this fun stuff. And once you choose one, so this one can fade in, you can choose the duration and the delay from when you scroll that element into view. So your marketers can play movie producer and have things slide from different areas of the screen and really come together to make that page drive home that goal you're trying to achieve. Tons of fun there. We also have content alignment for mobile and desktop. Now, this was a very particular ask from our marketers. Obviously, we use the standard HubSpot rich text editor. There's all kinds of things you can do in here as far as text alignments, unordered list, all that normal stuff. But what this will allow you to do is you can actually have the content be centered for mobile for a very different experience on mobile, and then have it be aligned to the left side for desktop. So this just gives you kind of the split option. Anything you do in the editor will override the options I have. So we were very careful with our approach of hierarchy to make sure that all of our globals are rules and they're easy to be there, easy to adjust and play with. But anything you were to do inside here will override anything else. So if you particularly want this one paragraph to be a different color or a different size, this will override all those theme settings and things we did up here. We try to drill down to make sure everything is correct so that everything by default looks good. So anybody can get in and build a very nice looking page, but also for the advanced users, they can go in and override what we had intended and make something truly unique. Hopefully that makes sense as far as all those things that you can do with this one module. If we do go back, actually one other thing I do want to show, because Alex talked about this, is the smart rules option. So every module, this has been rolled out. This is a wonderful addition. It used to only be particular HubSpot modules, but since it's every module now, this entire block, you can add a smart rule and basically decide, you know what, I only want to show this block for people that are a part of this membership, or maybe it's for people that are actual leads or marketing or MQLs, SQLs, maybe it's a lifecycle stage, or maybe you want to do it by country. So you can select one of these and say, only show this block if they're from Albania or wherever you want to search for. But the smart content, the smart rules is very, very powerful, partnered with a theme, for instance, like Mojoflex, being able to go through and build a very cool page with a very unique experience, and then tailor that experience to really target and segment your audience for what you're trying to accomplish. Very cool addition by HubSpot. Once we go back here, I do want to show just a couple of other modules. We have a ton of them in here. Counting numbers, we've got carousels, testimonial carousels, icons with content, image galleries, several different types, all kinds of fun things that you can play with. I'm just going to move over this counting numbers because everybody loves counting numbers. They're basically the items that when you scroll the page into view, the numbers count up to talk about whatever particular statistic you would like to brag about. So this module in particular, we've still got all the same modules that you'll see go carry all the way throughout the Mojoflex theme. We also have content above, so you could potentially put in a large heading right above your content. And you can simply go up here, highlight it, select, oh yeah, it's an H2, and I want this to actually be centered. All of the modules that we have where we have repeating items that you can play with, we also want to have content tied to that, because if you separate the content from the actual items, you lose a lot of its power. So down here, just for counting numbers, you can simply add an item, and we've got these other fields. So we can simply say numbers served or something along that. And you can have maybe a plus before the number. We can say we've helped 1,000 people, have something after the number, and you can basically have a blurb or something like that if you wanted. And you can clone these and just kind of play with these. And we've also got settings, so you could have 3, 4, or 5 in a row. So this looks really good for 3 in a row. Looks quite lovely. And if I were to actually load up the page itself, if it comes through on the webinar, you can see the numbers count up. Everything looks super nice. Now, one thing that's really nice, remember, all of those settings above that we talked about with these modules really control how this page is laid out in an easy fashion. So let's say on this page, instead of having 3, you will have 5 items that you wanted to play with. We can simply say, make it 5 across. Everything is percentage based. but 5 across does get a little bit tight here. So what you can do is go up here to the spacing options and simply adjust this container and say, make it full fluid. And once this page is saved, you can kind of see what those options are. Get a little bit more breathing room. So all of these options in Mojoflex, all of these layout options, background, spacing, animations, all of these are here out of the box, pre-built. Everything is already optimized for you and your marketing team to go in here and create really awesome pages without needing a developer on staff or using that developer resource. So they can focus on maybe large scale application integrations, all those other wonderful things that Alex talked about in his presentation. So hopefully that makes sense. There are tons of modules in Mojoflex, tons of features with HubSpot, especially that smart content is super handy to have. We've got all kinds of other things as well with that. You can also, all of these modules, since we're using HubSpot's basic functionality, you can also insert all those personalization tokens. So like Alex was talking about, you can simply go here and have this pull in a contact records first name or last name if they're a known contact. That's really what CRM-powered website, it's really how they kind of work together. The CMS tool itself in a good product like Mojoflex, a good theme that's set up for flexibility, really allows your marketing team to go in and create awesome pages. And then the power of having your CRM attached to that CMS allows you to take that content one step further, add personalization tokens, or even smart rules to really target exactly what content is going to be shown to that specific segment of your audience. That is really all I have. Obviously, Mojoflex has a ton of features. I don't have all the time rest of the webinar to go through all of them, but there are a ton of modules that do all kinds of things. And everything that you've seen here is pretty standard across Mojoflex. And this is a product that we are very proud of, and we are continuing to update it. We are always either adding modules or updating modules for new features. I think since we published this theme last fall, we've had about 26 or 27 updates. So usually about every 2 weeks, we're starting to push out either new fixes, new styling options, all those things that maybe we didn't think about when we were building it from all of our current experience, but maybe someone else had a great idea. We always take those ideas and try to generalize them and make it a really cool global feature for all users of Mojoflex. And with that, I will pass it back to Mason.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sam, for really diving very deep into Mojoflex. Just really the one thing I wanted to add is, as a marketer, from the branding perspective, I've never had to dive into typography or colors or spacing or anything. Really, all I have to do is plug in our content, click publish, and start promoting. So as a marketer that has previously worked exclusively in custom websites that I had to have our IT team work on to really even change a period, the fact that we have this much flexibility as marketers has been really a game changer in just the agility and flexibility to really get fantastic campaigns out the door that really drive revenue for our business. So really, the last little bit of this webinar is just a Q&A for any questions you might have, really from why HubSpot CMS down to what can I do today if I had the HubSpot CMS and the CRM and the marketing automation, and really how does that tactically work within an organization? So I know we've got a couple questions that came in before the webinar that I'm going to go ahead and ask. And if you've got any other questions, feel free to just drop those in the Q&A section. So for starters, I know that the big question probably on a lot of people's minds is why would someone switch over to HubSpot CMS when they can just build a B2B website for free on something like WordPress?
I can take that one. So a couple interesting things there. I think one, when you're thinking about building a website that's going to help you grow your business, you need to think about all the different tools that you're going to need in order to build that website. And WordPress, has a great solution for building content, creating content, and putting it out there in the world. But when you start to think about it, you really start to think about all the different tools you're going to need, forms, a way to interact with the people on your website, like live chat, email automation, kickback emails. All those things don't come with WordPress. And you can extend WordPress's platform. You can get a bunch of plugins, but then you start to get to that cobbled system where you're stitching together a bunch of different point solutions to get, just the basic functionality that you need in order to build a website. It's going to work for your business. And so that's why we think that SaaS, all-on-one solution, like HubSpot CMS, is good for anyone that wants to build a website to help them grow their business. The other thing that you mentioned is that WordPress is free. I think that's a bit of a misnomer. A lot of people think that it's open source, it's free, you can download it. But when you start to think about the hidden costs of having a WordPress website, think about the different plugins that you need that are going to be paid, the hosting that you need to pay for in order to get it up on the internet, paying for security, regular uptime maintenance, and upkeep of the website. Those can all start to pile up over time. And so thinking about WordPress as a free platform, that sticker price for the open source software, yes, that is free, but there's a bunch of hidden costs that you also have to consider. And now that we have, this starter product that's only $25 a month, I'd be really interested in comparing them side by side and thinking, okay, with $25 for CMS Hub Starter versus, however much it costs for hosting, all the plugins, the security that I need to run a WordPress website, I'd be curious to see, what that shakes out to be in terms of overall cost of ownership.
I would add one thing to the WordPress as well. I would classify that almost all as DevOps or development operations. WordPress's price tag out the door, like Alex said, you can get it basically for free. But the bigger cost is actually your time, your marketing time. So a lot of the difference that we see with people going from WordPress to HubSpot is they're saving so much time where they're actually focusing on growing their business and growing their marketing efforts. They don't have to worry about the platform. You don't have to worry, is this plugin updated? Is my PHP on end of life? I need to update PHP. There's all those other things that are what I would consider development operations or DevOps that HubSpot is basically just rolling that in together with their price. You don't have to worry about security. You don't have to worry about updates. You don't have to worry about SSL certificates. And all those other things in WordPress, you can get them cheaper, but it does take time. And I would argue, and most of our clients would argue, once you move away from WordPress to HubSpot, you can't imagine what a relief it is to get all that time back, time that you as a marketing person, a marketing manager, doesn't have to think about, oh, what development team am I going to use? How are they going to fix this problem? All of that's just rolled in HubSpot, and you need to focus on actually growing your business and the things that matter.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Sam. Those are really a lot of great thoughts. And we have had really a series of questions come in. So for starters, Alex, would you be willing to share your screen and pull back up the pricing slides? We've had a couple people ask just regarding, the differences in the packages and kind of trying to wrap their head around what you get with each package. So really another question I know we had already was just this basic question of, really when we start to think through the different packages, what's the business case that you would recommend at a different package? So what does a business look like at starter versus professional versus enterprise? I think that'll also help people kind of wrap their heads around these different packages. Alex, you are muted.
Technical difficulties. Oof. Yeah, so I'd be happy to put my slides back up. Just let me get on the specific slides real quick. Cool. So a couple of great questions there. I'm going to share my screen and we can start to dive into some of those. The question was, what are the specific pricing and packaging? Who is best fit for specific tiers of CMS Hub? I think, first we have the professional tier, which is kind of the main tier for CMS Hub. This is really for people that want to build professional websites that are going to help them personalize the customer experience, optimize their website, expand their content strategy, really for people who have, a team of marketers that want to help manage their website. And so as you see here, the different features that we have, if anyone wants these slides after the fact, I'd be happy to share these slides. So if anyone wants to dive into these specifically, just, send me, a message on LinkedIn or anything, happy to share those slides. We also have that enterprise tier, which is probably for people, who have, 50 or more marketers that might be impacting their website. I'm starting to make changes to it. And this is going to allow you to build, those really powerful, sophisticated digital experiences, leveraging things like serverless functions, memberships, the custom objects that come as part of the CRM platform. And you're also going to get some of those more granular team functionalities like, content partitioning, user permissions, SSO, things that will allow you to better manage the team that's impacting the website. And then the new one is CMS Hub Starter. And so this is the one that we just launched earlier this month. And this is probably for, people that are just getting started with starting to think, okay, I've had a website for a while now, but I want to start using it as a tool that can help me grow my business. And I don't want it to just be this like bro share website. I want it to be a website that really helps me generate business. And so for that, we have all of our security features out of the box, all of our content editing tools out of the box, and also just the entire breadth of that CRM platform. So you get tools like live chat and forms and more to help you grow your business. One other thing that I want to mention quickly about CMS Hub Enterprise is that ability to kind of extend your brand and manage more than just one website within CMS Hub Enterprise. And so if you're a brand that has, maybe two websites. HubSpot's a great example. We have HubSpot.com. We also have Inbound.com. And so we need a system where we can manage more than just one website and report on the success of both websites simultaneously. And so CMS Hub Enterprise is a great solution because we can manage both of those websites in one place. We can manage up to 10 websites in one place or purchase more if 10 isn't enough. And so really, a number of options for companies there. I also think I saw a question about support.
I think Alex is having a bit of a Wi-Fi technical difficulty. Sorry, you froze for just a second there.
I froze for a little bit.
Yeah.
Where did I cut out?
Just regarding kind of the enterprise level and how you can manage multiple websites and Inbound versus HubSpot.com.
Yeah, and so just an update to that we just recently launched was the ability to host multiple websites beyond just 2 within CMS Hub Enterprise. So now out of the box, you can manage up to 10 websites in CMS Hub Enterprise. And if you would like, you can purchase more domains for $100 a month within CMS Hub Enterprise as well. And then I did think I saw a question about support. So Starter, Pro, and Enterprise all get access to support. Phone support starts at that professional tier, but you get access to live chat and email support at that Starter tier.
Awesome. And then I did see one other question, which was, and I think it was directed at Alex, but I also love for Sam to chime in on this, but will your team, Alex, help put together a new website? Or is that really just entirely on somebody that purchases the HubSpot CMS?
Yeah, so we do have an onboarding team that's going to help you start to explore the platform. We also have, an awesome partner community, including the Mojo Media Labs team that's here to help. So if you're looking to explore CMS Hub and see, what is possible within CMS Hub, highly recommend you leverage our community partners, including the good folks at Mojo Media Labs.
Awesome. And Sam, you touched on it a little bit earlier, but regarding that community of people that are already on Mojoflex, it really seems like within that community, there are people that are offering new suggestions.
Absolutely. So one of our main points of having that theme, obviously as an engineer myself, as a developer, one of the reasons we wanted to develop a really nice framework was so I wouldn't have to build the same widget 1,000 times. And we're always trying to take those modules or those widgets, those components that we build, and we're trying to repurpose them so everyone can really use them and style them. We are also we're using a different platform called Canny to take suggestions for the theme, any bugs that might be reported or anything like that. And we're basically letting the community vote on those features. And then once they get so popular, we're taking those features and rolling them into our theme. So we're always looking for a really nice feedback loop. Obviously, we have a lot of experience on our team. I've been doing this for over 15 years. A lot of our designers have been with us for over 10. So we have a lot of experience on how to take something and make it very general, but we're always looking for new ways or things we didn't think of. So, and that's, someone always has different ideas.
Absolutely. Well, we are really at time. So really if you are interested in learning more about Mojoflex or about the HubSpot CMS, tomorrow when we send out the replay, just on that page, there will be a form at the bottom where you can schedule a demo to meet with one of our tech team members to get a full rundown of the HubSpot CMS and the Mojoflex theme. And we would be happy to answer any questions. Additionally, HubSpot does not make it difficult to find them. So if you just Google HubSpot CMS, I'm sure the first Google result is the landing page for the HubSpot CMS where you can request a demo from HubSpot and speak with someone on their sales team. So Alex, do you have any closing thoughts?
Just thank you so much for having me. And again, if anyone has any questions, feel free to reach out. Happy to connect with anyone after the webinar.
Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for being here. And we hope you have an awesome rest of your day. We look forward to talking with you soon.
Awesome. Thanks, Mason.